Hello, and welcome to TSTV, a show in which I, Sadie, guide my friend Lily through the wild world of Twin Peaks. Lily, how's it going?
Well, I think you know how it's going, because we're celebrating some good news this week.
Hell yeah!
Our show is out.
Oh, this is going to be a very fun time date for the people listening. But yeah, this is our very first recording since actually putting the show out for people. Just a little intro episode, but it's still so freaking exciting.
Yeah, huge. I think the response has been really nice. People seem like excited about this. It's funny because now it's like actually a podcast, you know, and not just like a really high commitment hangout.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I might as well say this now. Thank you to everyone who's like joined the Patreon, etc.
Yeah.
It means a lot. Gonna help us like pay an editor, hopefully.
Yeah. And let me just say right now, get on there, because we both have jobs. And paying someone to edit this would make this, I mean, we've been doing it, but that would make our lives so much easier. And you can help us do that for just $3 measly American dollars. And then get a bunch of bonus shit too. So, you know, if you're, okay, tell you what, we're so far in your future that if you're listening to this and you're 18 episodes in, that means there's already like 9 sick bonus episodes. And if you've listened to 18 episodes of this podcast and you're not on the Patreon, I think you should be.
Damn, you make a good case.
Morally. And also, I think there will be a bunch of shit there that you will like. If you've listened to 18 episodes of this, you want to listen to 9 more episodes of it right now, and $3 can let you do that, and it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else has been up with you apart from that?
Huh. Well, I've basically just been in the content mines, you know, like I'm working a lot, not really leaving the house, been sick. So other than that, could be better. But you know, the show has been a bright spot. We also have been venturing into some interesting video game territory, both of which I'm playing on your recommendation, actually.
Oh, also, let me cut you off. I didn't say what episode of Twin Peaks we're talking about, but we're talking about Twin Peaks episode 18, also known as season 2, episode 11, also known as Masked Ball. So jot that one down.
Sadie, tell us about the games, because I want to talk about the same ones.
Yeah. Okay. We have both been playing. So I talked about 1,000 Times Resist in the past, and I finished it. And you, how far are you in on that now?
I've only finished the first chapter.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can get more into that when you get more into it. We talked about it a bit just between us. I really liked the first half of that game, and I have some, I think, criticisms and things that didn't land for me as much in the back half. I actually want to recommend to the podcast heads out there, Abnormal Mapping, which is one of the best leftist gay people video games podcasts out there.
Ooh, I haven't heard of this.
Oh yeah, they're great. You should check them out. Anyway, they did an episode about 1,000 Times Resist recently for us. And I think they actually spoke to a lot of what I liked about it and what did not land for me so much about it. I think it was a really good, we really liked this game, and the fact that we like it so much means that we can talk kind of critically about it, you know, for 2 hours. So I really recommend that to anyone who has played the game or doesn't care about spoilers, I guess. But
cool.
Yeah, how's the first chapter landing for you?
Well, it's full of intrigue. I mean, it seems, I hope that this is not too spoilery. I guess skip ahead a minute if you really don't want to know anything about this game. But it seems like the premise is that there was a really serious virus that killed a bunch of people at the school, and this one girl was the only one who was immune, and I gather that now she's having to be cloned for eternity or something because she's the only one who could survive. I don't know. There's some interesting robot-y stuff, time travel-y stuff, dreamy stuff. I think it's super well written. It's raising some very interesting questions. My one gripe so far is the school where the first chapter takes place is a colossal pain in the ass to navigate.
I'm going to tell you right now, Lily, you are going to get to a like hub area in the next chapter or two that is going to be even more of a pain in the ass to navigate.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, I like when we were talking off mic and you were like, "Yeah, I was getting lost." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that area is really easy to get lost in." Then I was like, "Oh, she's not even there yet." Unfortunately, there is going to be a very circuitous like main hub area, which like part of me is like I think it's fun to be lost in it and to find your way around and to get to know it better, but it also I think like one of the people that made the game had said at one point, like, this is our first time doing level design, and it does kind of show, but yeah.
Sure, sure. Oh, well, fuck my life.
Yeah. Want to talk about the other game we've both been playing?
Yeah, you set us up.
Yeah, we've been I and my girlfriend Maya have been playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes and have got you and Vic to play it. It's funny, this was actually like, I had got the idea from you of being like, I should just play puzzle games with my girlfriend because then we're both playing it because it's thinking.
It's such a good bonding activity. It's so much easier when you're two people.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one is fucking amazing. It feels very David Lynch inspired. So, okay, it's one of those games that the plot doesn't really actually describe what is interesting about it. In that, so plot, you are an artist called Lorelei Weiss, who is invited to a weird hotel abandoned mansion in the woods by Renzo Nero in Deutschland by Renzo Nero, a fictional art house film director. You get there and it's full of puzzles and mysteries, and also this is like, he's like, welcome to the art project. The art project is this weird hotel full of puzzles, but also like, did you help build it? That's strange. And I think like the way in Myst is kind of just like, you're on a weird island, everything on it is a puzzle. Go ahead. That's kind of the vibe, is you're in this weird, spooky hotel/mansion. There's lore, but we're not going to tell you any of it right away. Just go ahead, do some puzzles. And then you do, and you figure things out.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's actually interesting about it, I think it is like very David Lynch inspired. It is like very concerned. There's like a great part where there are a bunch of puzzles that go off a list of this guy's insane movies, and I love all of them. And it's like doing some kind of like Silent Hill stuff in Resident Evil, like you can only save at the computer. It's really concerned with like, what is art, what is challenging art, how do you make art under capitalism, and like setting up these various like layered narratives that are all kind of orbiting around these themes and are kind of reusing the same characters in different ways and layering them all over each other in what feels like a very David Lynch way to kind of construct this like palimpsest of meaning. And then also there's some really hard puzzles and those are really fun. So that's Lorelei. How have you been finding it?
Loving it. I love the atmosphere, all the like interconnected worldy stuff. There are a ton of like optional puzzles that just make things like a little more convenient, and I've honestly especially been enjoying those because it's just like, it's just I won't say how you solve them. I won't spoil that. I will say we're finding it pretty easy. None of the puzzles are presenting a real challenge, and like that's not a huge issue for me because there's still so much substance, and they're still very satisfying to solve. But I wouldn't say it really compares in difficulty to a I don't know, like a Tunic, for example, where there were like real
sure
brain scratchers. Brain scratchers? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It I think was hard for me, Mike, because we don't really have puzzle brain. I think it also does the thing where a lot of the main like story progression puzzles are pretty simple. It's also like the thing where often you'll see a puzzle and you're like, what the fuck does this mean? But you have to like go and find a cipher or some other information, and then it makes sense pretty easily. But I think I know we found a lot of the shortcut side puzzles were some of the ones that we were just like, what the fuck do we do with this?
Sure. Yeah. The ones that I'm finding sort of underwhelming are like there are a number of puzzles where you have to input a number. And it seems like you're just supposed to know, like, oh, hey, this is a number that I've seen around before, so I should try that. And then it works. And it just feels like there's no logical connection between those two things. There's no reason that, like, this year should unlock this door. or whatever. Like surprisingly many of those, I would say, but I don't really care. It's still very intriguing and cool. I want to shout out the licensed video game Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights.
Oh, fuck
This
yeah.
is a Lily childhood classic, played on the PS2 all the time. It's not very good. Like, it's genuinely probably pretty average for a licensed game, which is like not great by any other standard.
Yeah, but that's so many frights.
It's a lot of frights.
All in one night? Eek!
Okay, that is one kind of cool thing is it stays night the whole time. The time never changes. I obviously like an affordance of making a PS2 game, but I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, that is a game that is not very good except for the like spooky sort of haunted mansion atmosphere that is obviously like scary but also ultimately kid friendly. I think this game has that same like ooh thing about it, you know, where it's
Yeah.
not genuinely scary, but it is
But it's
like,
spooky.
oh, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
And that's an itch that I had not had scratched in a while. So I love it.
I definitely, once the entities that we call the spooklers start showing up, I kept being like, fuck, we're gonna get spooklered. Have you at this point had all 9 of them appear?
I think we've had 8 appear.
Okay. Well, we'll check back in because there's some really cool stuff after all of those. But yeah, if you're out there and you want to play a weird, artsy puzzle game that is like, there's a lot of David Lynch in there. There's like, oh no, I'm in a weird dimension with red curtains. Uh-oh, hee. And just like, yeah, it's really, really fun. I recommend it. Speaking of David Lynch, I also watched a new David Lynch movie for the first time this past week. I watched Wild at Heart with Maya, and oh my god, it is so much fun. I was not expecting, like, from what I knew about it, I wasn't expecting it to like shoot to the top of my David Lynch movies list, but I think it is there for me now. Like, not at the top, but it's like a real... there's that one lady on Instagram who recommends movies to you based on your Letterboxd top 4. I think it's Lex, Film Rex by Lex, I think. And she always says, like, David Lynch is one of the directors that she can just say whatever she most recently watched by him could be her favorite David Lynch movie. And I'm really getting that the more that I watch, because now that I have seen Wild at Heart, oh my god, it's so much fun. So Wild at Heart, Nicolas Cage, it runs off and elopes with Laura Dern. And Laura Dern's mother is so unhappy about it that she sends a bunch of weirdos to kill him. And it's fucking great. It's like, has David Lynch heavy stuff, but it's also just really funny and really delightful.
Yeah.
And really like sexy. I really loved it. I wish so bad that Nicolas Cage had worked more with David Lynch. I feel like they would have like pulled some gonzo shit out of each other, you know?
That pairing makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, you know what I kept thinking? Okay, in this episode, we hear for the first time from Wyndham Earl, the fucking freak. Shouldn't he have been Nicolas Cage? Imagine him as playing this like manic, I'm gonna come get you, Coop ex-partner, but it's Nicolas Cage. Wouldn't that have been fucking goated?
That would be awesome.
Anyway, want to talk about Twin Peaks?
Let's talk about Twin Peaks.
All right, let's watch The Log Lady.
Wait, do we always do the Log Lady before the recap?
Yes, girl, this is like we've always done The Log Lady before the recap.
Okay, jeez.
Sorry. This is definitely, I feel like we've done this like 2 or 3 times.
It's like a weird time to do it, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. I think, because she sets the stage.
Okay. I'm going to keep asking every episode just to piss you off.
So funny. The Log Lady Tale asks us, is life like a game of chess?
Is life like a game of chess? Are our present moves important for our future success? I think so. We paint our future with every present brushstroke. Painting, colors, shapes, textures, composition, repetition of shapes, contrast. Let nature guide us. Nature is the great teacher. Who is the principal? Sometimes jokes are welcome, like the one about the kid who said, "I enjoyed school. It was just the principle of the thing."
Okay, we gotta talk principles for starters.
It's funny, there's also a principal in A Thousand Times Resist that you're going to meet.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, tell me about principles.
Okay, first of all, nature is the great teacher. Who is the principal? Are you fucking kidding me?
Really funny. I think this is a real, like this is the platonic ideal of a log lady, you know, in that it starts out with like, is life like a game of chess? Oh, because there's a chess in the episode. And they go, painting, colors, shapes, textures. Nature is the great teacher. Who is the principal? Sometimes jokes are welcome.
Yeah, it jumps like 4 places. There's also a school mention. Obviously, we get school in this. Like, it feels both on the nose and totally obtuse.
Yeah. Maybe there's something there about like the repetition. I don't know. We're like back in a new mystery. We're like setting things up again. It's like a contrast and repetition. Is there painting? There's not really much painting in this episode, but I don't know. It's fun to think about. Who do you think is the principal if nature is the great teacher?
Like, if this were a different show, I would say God, but I don't think this show believes in like the Christian God.
Yeah, I think it's like the transcendental meditation God or something. I buy, but I don't know. It's just it's fun. She's having fun.
I'm genuinely like caught on that though, because I thought the whole thing was like, you know, oneness and all that. Like this doesn't strike me as a show that believes in the principle, so to speak. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know, honestly.
Maybe it's Bob.
Whoa, that would be fucked up. I want to shout out, again, just looking at the comments on these videos is really funny. This is one comment from 2 years ago. Just says, "Someone help me out with this one." 3 sobbing emojis. Lamau, lady, what? Really good. Anyway, I feel like I don't really have much more log lady thoughts, but she was having fun. Should we get into the episode proper?
Let's.
Okay, so. Oh, let me take a sip before this one.
Yeah, sure.
Twin Peaks, start your engines. There's a new babe in town. T.S. Denise Bryson, FBI, top dog, sashays into Twin Peaks to harshly but fairly investigate Cooper's case and get in a little dancing on the side. And Coop's gonna need her help if he wants to not get cancelled by the combined powers of woke and Canada. Meanwhile, Garland's disappearance is played off as surprisingly normal, but it might have something to do with the black and white lodges. Nadine has the hots for Mike the Snake, which gets her recruited into the wrestling team. James rides his big dumb motorcycle directly into softcore pornography. Andy and Dick Tremayne's dad competition is complicated by the fact that Dick's happy helping hand foster boy loves Looney Tunes antics and pranks. Hank dumps Ben Horne, who gets a bit loopy about it. Statler gets married even though Waldorf doesn't like it, and Josie's back. Unfortunately, the show puts her in the worst subplot of all time to be evil and racist to her.
Fuck, man.
That's the episode. What did you think about it?
Okay. Well, we are in the infamous stretch of season 2. Last episode is when it started, and I was like, I don't really get it. Like, yeah, we're doing some silly stuff, but whatever. This one, I immediately understand what people's beef is. Because, oh my God. I'm gonna say, like, there's some stuff that I think is great in this episode. The Denise stuff I am delighted by.
Yeah.
But also the James thing. I love it. That's wonderful dumb nonsense.
I know.
But then there's some plot twists that just feel terrible and unnecessary, and other ones that just feel like a little bit contrived or motivated by needing to stretch the show on. So I'm going to say that this is not a banger.
Honestly, though, I think I agree with everything you said. I think I like this episode, and I think I was really thinking last night, I think this is like uh again, like the platonic ideal or like the archetypical Twin Peaks season 2, you know? Because really, there's
Mm.
stuff in here that like works surprisingly well, and is I think like I think the Denise stuff, if a bit wrong-footed, is also a hit for me. I think the scene near the end with Ben is like the him kind of like caressing this film projection. I think I really like, and I think I could have gone a bit harder, but like I really see the sauce there. There's also stuff that is like stupid and really funny. I am a fan of the stupid James subplot. I know that's one that like is a bit reviled, but I'm like, no man, take me away.
Yeah, take me away, motor boy.
There's also stuff that is just kind of like, why are we still following this old man getting married? Like, why? And then there's what I think is honestly like genuinely the black stain on Twin Peaks season 2 is how it treats Josie,
Oh my god, yeah.
which I've talked about before. But like, you know, I think if Twin Peaks season 2 was just a lot of like stupid funny stuff, I'd be like, all right, take me away. And I think the fact that this Josie stuff really starts happening now and will keep happening is what makes it really is like what makes me really feel like I can't just like have fun with it, you know? But on the whole, I think I enjoy this episode.
Okay. I think I would say I enjoy it more than I think that it is good.
Yeah. I think that'll probably be that feels about right, you know, for this stretch of the show. But
Sure.
shall we get into the scenes?
Let's dive in.
All right. So, right off the top, my first note is just play that stupid music, white boy. Because James is barreling down the road on his motorcycle. He is playing, or the show is playing for him, what we had previously thought would be Nadine's new theme, the like down, ba bow, ba bow. And just using this as the like extend the opening and have some other credits play. It's just kind of in and out, but
it's like conspicuously long, I want to say. I feel like this was just like, ah shit, we are one scene too short. Let's just make this as long as we need it to. It's like, because you get the full 2 minutes of theme song, then like a full 2 minutes of this.
it's funny. I see in your note here you say I really buy James as a biker. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I don't know, like it feels like it runs counter to like a lot of his sensitive, pouty ways, but with the enormous glasses on, like you can't see his sad little pathetic puppy dog eyes. He just looks like stoic and cool, and he has a very square head, which I think works in his favor.
It's funny, I think this is really funny because literally one of my notes later on is just, I do not believe he's an epic biker, lol. So
I don't think he's an epic biker. I think he's like, this is just what he happens to have instead of a car,
yeah.
It endears me to him though.
He's got a like fucking Sahara Desert of a forehead, that man.
I would say more of an Amazon rainforest. It's got much to offer, don't you think?
That's so true. Rich and diverse.
Okay, do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, the next scene sees a character we haven't seen in a long time, maybe all season. Betty Briggs, mother of Bobby, father, wife of Garland Briggs. She's in the chair's office with Harry and Coop. They're talking about Garland's disappearance, because of course that's what happened at the end of the last episode. There was like a flash of light and he vanished. Betty says that it's very notable that they were in the woods when this happened, because Garland would talk about the woods and I guess like the spiritual significance of the woods a lot.
Which is very funny because we didn't see him doing this, I guess, when they were at home. But I guess just every time, well, I guess we saw them mostly just being like, now Bobby, be niceys. But I guess every time off screen he was like, and by the way, Betty, those woods are fucking crazy.
Oh man. So Dale asks if Garland's work was related to like the spiritual presence of the woods, which I first thought was like a dumb
Yeah.
question because of course you wouldn't know. Like his work is super classified. But then she goes, "That's classified." And it's like,
Uh-huh.
so she does know. So why does she know? Unless she's like secretly a government agent, I don't like that. That feels silly to me. Um, Basically, they're generally trying to reassure her. She leaves, and she says that Garland left some notes on his bedside table, and that she can like call back and dictate them, which just feels like a an excuse to stretch this plot line out. Because if she knew they were important, she would have brought them with her. She just brought this up unprompted. That feels contrived. But then when she's gone, like Dale basically says that he's misleading her in some way or saying like, oh well, something, it's not normal about those woods.
I don't think that he's misleading her. I think he's just like, because he's not like, no, those were normal woods. He's like trying to ask if it was done in the woods, but then he is just like, man, those woods are there's something. What was it that he says? Let me find the. He's saying to Harry, saying, Major Briggs didn't just wander off on some work assignment. I think because she's saying earlier, like, Garland has always disappeared before, and it's been work related. Sometimes he just does that.
Oh, sure.
I think he's
okay.
like, no, this is there's some, this was a force that lives in those woods.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, next up we got Gordon Cole over the telephone.
Hell yeah.
And to be honest with you, I hardly even remember what he says. Basically that the DA is sending someone to investigate Dale, right?
This is like setting up Denise's future rival. We also get some great lines here. He says let me find the exact wording. He says, "Don't let them rattle you, Coop. These guys make a living looking through other people's drawers. We've all had our socks tossed around. Let a smile be your umbrella." Which is just great.
Yeah.
I love also like when the call comes in, they say that they have a temp who's like, a call for Dale Kruper, which means that this temp misunderstood even Gordon Cole yelling.
Oh, that's great.
I think this is really funny because it is definitely a like, yeah, he disappeared in a spiritual flash of light. We don't want to deal with that this episode, though. Come back next episode. We'll have notes.
Yeah, right? We're not worried. We got wedding stuff we got extremely minor character wedding to do.
Which, honestly, I think that's the kind of shit that season 1 Twin Peaks was also hitting all the time. I think this works for me as a funny thing.
Oh, sure. I'm not mad. Okay, the scene ends. I don't remember what Dale's line is, but he looks into the camera while saying it.
He says it's time to face the music.
Yeah, so he's about to go into his like deposition or whatever. And it just feels like an unearned fourth wall break. It feels like the kind of thing that this show, should be doing, but why about this? I don't know. We don't spike the camera in this show.
I agree.
And then it's just like a bit of an anticlimax of a scene,
Yeah. I guess it's like to lead us into this next scene of the kind of FBI panel, but yeah, it's I agree that I was like, okay, bro, looking right at me. Sure, face the music, I guess.
There's a couple moments of that in this episode, actually. It's not even the only one. Anyway.
Oh, interesting. But yes, that leads us right into the next episode, where basically this is his like FBI kind of like internal investigation. It's clear that what they want is for him to say the right things, that they can do the cops covering up for cops thing. And they're saying, oh, you should defend yourself, you should say da 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 da, but he is not interested in playing that game because he wants to think about love. So basically instead he's just like, I have no defense, I'm innocent of any criminal wrongdoing, I broke some guidelines and I'll pay the price for that, but if I will clear my name in a court of law if that's what it comes to. Which, the vibe of these FBI investigators, these guys don't seem in on the frame, but they seem to be very like, come on, man. If we're going to get you off the hook, we're supposed to all say the things that we're all supposed to say, and you're not playing the game that lets us just get you off the hook. There's a line at the end where he's like, we might have to extradite you to Canada.
Oh no, not 15 minutes away.
Yeah, But I love he also says, I'll recommend a full psychological workup. He's like, you're crazy, Coop. I gotta say, this Dale is being canceled due to woke and the Canadian government. Some brave patriot should impose tariffs on them.
Oh, that's a perfectly timely joke right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dale's game here, right? Like I love his monologue here. I think it's very pretty. But at least from where I stand, his choice to not contest things strikes me as pretty foolish. Like, doesn't he want to continue being a detective, you know? It seems like he's not doing himself any favors, and I still don't really understand it, but maybe I will.
The
Maybe it'll pay off.
vibe that I get is that he's like, you know, I don't want to be a detective if it's for an agency that does this. Or I think he's really like, oh, he says, you know, I know the move I'm supposed to make. I know the board, but I'm focusing out beyond the edge of the board on a bigger game. And I guess this is his like, wow, being in Twin Peaks has made me realize that I just want to live in love and harmony. I do like actually his speech that he gives here. The note that I made was, okay, Phil Elverum, because he said he's interested in the sound
True.
wind makes through the pines, the sentience of animals.
The self-evidence of birdsong. Like, you could pull like 5 Night Palace quotes right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he says, what we fear in the dark and what's beyond the dark. I'm talking about seeing beyond fear, Roger, about looking at the world with love. You know, I think this is one of the ones where, like, again, I'm always out here criticizing Dale Cooper, but I think this hits for me here. I'm like, God, that's so true,
Yeah.
Dale. We need to look at the world with love, you know?
I agree. I thought it was lovely. Yeah.
Other note, I love the little, like, 1992 MacBook that they're typing on at the beginning of the scene.
It's fucking cool, right?
Yeah, I love a
Yeah.
chunky little computer.
Ah, I'm with you. Another reason to play Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
That's so true. Anyway,
It also has a GameCube. Okay.
it's funny. They keep bringing up this plot line, and every time it's come up, it's basically just like the FBI people or whatever being like, "We're gonna get you," and then Dale goes, "No, that's okay." The end.
Then they go like, okay, but we're still gonna get you at some point.
Yeah.
He goes, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, want to go to high school?
Yeah, okay. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want more high school antics in the show, so I am delighted. Nadine approaches Donna on like recess or whatever, telling her that she has a crush on Mike, aka Snake, who's still in the show.
Yeah.
Every time he's appeared after the first couple episodes, I've been like, oh, I just thought we wrote him off.
I know,
We
right?
basically have.
Yeah.
So my theory as to why she has a crush on him specifically is basically they didn't want another named male high schooler. Like, they didn't want to have to come up with another character.
I think that is 100% true. They're just like, okay, no, it can't be Bobby. Hold on. Yeah, let's get Mike in here. Mike's just been sitting around.
He's just been going to school doing his normal stuff. I do think they make a good and sexy match for reasons we will explore later. I'm saying this as if Nadine is actually 17 and not like 35. But
Yeah, listen,
you know.
we support her. Yeah, so yeah, basically she's like, oh, you know, I'm getting a hot chemistry with Mike, and he like walks past and doesn't look at her. And you know, Donna's like,
And
aren't
she goes
you-
like, look at his buns.
he's got the best buns. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Donna's like, aren't you seeing Ed? And Nadine's like, oh, you know, Ed stays home. I go to school. And sometimes he acts old enough to be my father. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I just write, wow, polyamory icon. But, yeah, I don't know. Once again, I think this is just like every time we have a Nadine scene, I'm like, go off, queen.
Yeah. Oh, we got a great one a little later too.
Yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, James pulls in at Hideout Wally's, a bar that seems to have the exact same vibes as the Roadhouse, which is very funny.
Fucking Hideout Wally's?
And that was the name of it. Isn't that so funny?
Why is it called that?
Yeah. So he goes in and instantly a like femme fatale is in there. And instantly he's like, oh, hello, James. Oh, hello. What was she says, headed somewhere? Is there some place you're going or running from? He says, you got it all wrong. I'm all right. She says, men are always all right up until they pull the trigger. Then the neighbors march solemnly out to the news cameras to tell us he was such a nice, quiet guy. James says, I'm only quiet on the outside.
Oh my God, I love this. I love
So,
this. Like the scene completely works for me.
yeah. It is like so ridiculous, but I do like it. I like how fucking over the top it is. He just walks into this bar, this woman in her red jacket is instantly like, well, hello, James. Maybe you should come fix my car and I'll I'll have to find some way to pay you. It's like this is like they are both acting like porn acting. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, completely. It feels totally artificial. Like they didn't even finish doing the preparations. There's not a single other person in the scene, just because they couldn't bother. Or well,
Yeah.
maybe because they couldn't bother, but also I really like what it does. It feels like they are just totally drawn to each other. Nothing else matters.
Uh-huh.
Their chemistry, I really enjoy. It helps that this is like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I love when he gets up, he's like, hope you don't mind if I hit the jukebox before we go. I put this like screenshot, she is fully fucking checking out his cock and his ass as he is going, like, she is giving him the full once over glance, and he just goes over to the jukebox to put on what the subtitles call Melancholy Rock. I just wrote, play that Melancholy Rock, white boy. God, it's so sad to be James Hurley. And okay, don't get me wrong. He did just get his girlfriend murdered again. But I just can't help but engage with it when it's through him, through this like campy, ridiculous way. Because he just goes over and puts on the Melancholy Rock, and it's like, I'm sorry, I love how you described the music in your notes.
Yeah, I'm gonna gently push back on Melancholy Rock. I think it is haunted merry-go-round music.
That is definitely true. It's hitting a like bam 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 bam. And he just kind of, leans his forehead up against the jukebox and looks so like, fuck. It's so hard, fuck.
Thank God I have this forehead to rest on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad we're on the same page about this fucking plot line.
Oh yeah. I'm so eager to see where this is going. I really like that James like orders from the bartender. Well, first of all, he just goes, "Can I have a beer?"
Yeah.
Which I love. But we never, even when we cut to like a shot of the bar, we never see the bartender. I think that's great. I think like the super shallow focus makes it feel dreamy obviously is a word I can use, but it's more like it feels artificial. It feels like, okay, we are just two people in a room doing a scene. And it reminded me, did you play the interludes in Kentucky Route Zero?
Yeah.
It reminds me of The Entertainment.
Oh yeah, that one's an all-timer.
Yeah, which for those who don't know, this is a full play. Actually, I believe 2 full plays that like happen in a scene of Kentucky Route Zero, and you just sit and watch and like learn background information.
What's even better, because it's like one play is like a silent pantomime of a like drunkard at a table, and the other play is like an actual kind of like Death of a Salesman kind of play, and you play as the guy pantomiming. So you're like watching the play that's happening, and meanwhile you're just sitting at your other table just eating your sandwich and reading the newspaper, and like you click through doing miming actions. It's really, really good.
You're right. Fuck, I've got to play that game again.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, play Kentucky Route Zero.
Yeah. I forgot to mention this woman's name is Evelyn Marsh. But yeah, so basically we leave it off there. Shall we go to another little goofy plotline that I have warmth for in my heart?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. Okay. So Andy is womaning the desk at the police station. And Dick Tremayne comes in with a brand new little baby boy. He's, I don't know, like 8 or something. I don't know how old kids are. Um, they'd come in because Dick wanted to take Lucy and the kid out for a malted, which is a weird way to say that, but I don't know, maybe that's how they do it. Upon learning that Lucy is not around, he's like, "Oh no, well we can't go," you know. And then Andy, father of the year, total sweetheart, is like, "No, I could take you fellas," you know. So then they, all the 3 of them, go for a malted.
Yeah.
This kid is, man, it's like a really corny child performance, which I have such a soft spot for.
Yeah.
He's just like thrashing and he's like, "No, I want blah, 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 blah," you know. It feels like obviously not how actual children are. The main thing I want to say right now, however, is a malted commentary. This is not something that is really for sale here in Quebec, Canada. But when I was in Minnesota for American Thanksgiving this year, I had one, and it was fucking incredible. It was like tasty beyond belief.
Damn.
I think about it probably weekly. And honestly, if these were for sale in my life, I would probably get one weekly. They're like just a much better milkshake. Highly recommend. I
Well-
feel like everyone listening to this is probably American and like knows about these. But there you go, a malted.
That's our malted
Endorsed.
commentary. Yeah, this is just continuing their like dad off. I love that we finally get to meet little Nikki. But yeah, this is just a little in and out. We'll check back in on these later. In the meantime, we have another little scene, and it's time for lore. So, I forget if actually Betty had mentioned something about the White Lodge, or just like spirits in the woods. But basically, I think maybe she might have said it. But basically, Coop's like, "Hey guys, do we know anything about this White Lodge?" And Hawk is like, "Ah, yes, I am indigenous. It's time for my wisdoms." Right off the top, like my first note, just "my people believe" has been called. We're really like, doing the thing where the writers for the show are just like, many such cases we can just treat indigenous spirituality as like a empty vehicle for the like metaphors and like made up spiritual supernatural elements that we want to invent for our show. Like there's
Yeah, absolutely.
like we can just say like, "Ah, yes, the indigenous people here, they believe," and then just put in whatever supernatural thing is like you want to have in your show. Many such cases.
Yeah.
Also many such cases of like we have the indigenous character who just immediately is like, "White boy, here are all my wisdoms."
Yeah, it's shitty, and it's also totally like frivolous because like after Hawk says it's like a traditional belief of his people, Harry says like, "Oh, it's a local legend, goes way back," which that serves the purpose just as well, right? You can just say like, "Oh, people have been spreading rumors about this," or like it's an old wives' tale or whatever. That totally works. Yeah, I think Hawk is being badly directed in this scene. Like he's doing weird unnatural gestures. What I have in my note is that he's like a kid learning to do like the Kamehameha.
And I'd call him fucking, he's playing Belatra the way he's hitting all those unnatural gestures.
Oh, fuck off. Are you kidding? That's crazy. Sadie, I need to get on your level.
But yeah, so all it is like, yeah, it's doing all this. It's like this like idea of indigenous spirituality as like, oh, they're old, they know the truth of this world, because like, spoiler alert, but this is a world in which the Black Lodge and White Lodge just exist, but also that it's like, totally accessible, and Dale Cooper, quirked up white boy, can just come in and be like, "Ah, yes, here are all of our beliefs. You may now use them for your spirit quest."
Yeah.
All that said, the actual capital L lore is that there's a White Lodge. There are other worlds. The White Lodge is where the spirits that rule man and nature reside. And then it has its like shadow self, the Black Lodge, where shit is fucked up. Specifically, he says that like every spirit must pass through there on the way to perfection, but that if you confront the Black Lodge with imperfect courage, it will utterly annihilate your soul. So, I mean,
that's a great line, I
yeah,
gotta say.
yeah, it is. And I think this is one of those things that I wish it was not delivered through this vehicle, but let's just like, it's funny. One of the things that like, people say like, oh, can I just skip the like this whole part of season 2? And it's like, I do think there's fun stuff there to appreciate, but also like you really can't, because it's crazy that no one has said the Black Lodge until now. I think it was like last episode was the first time that I think it was Briggs talked about like the White Lodge or something, but like
He mentioned the White Lodge, yeah.
Yeah,
Black
like
Lodge I thought I knew what the Black Lodge was, because I thought it was like the cabin where Laura was like before she died or something.
oh no,
But
no,
I suppose
no.
they're just too into wood houses in this show.
Yeah. But yeah, like there is a lot of like capital L lore that comes up in this part of the show that actually is you can tell that even though David Lynch was much less involved, they were still, kind of working from his notes, or like that he was involved to some degree, because this stuff all comes back big time in everything after season 2. So yeah, there's a White Lodge, there's a Black Lodge. We'll learn more.
Cool.
However, the scene is then interrupted by the arrival of our number one queen of all time.
Yes, let's fucking go. Okay, the moment I have so been waiting for. Denise is here, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. She's the hottest woman.
I know.
She's so fucking hot. It's crazy.
It's crazy. We'll talk a lot about like the way that this scene and this episode and the show broadly is like handling Denise Bryson. I love, you just messaged me last night at 11:30. Oh my God. And then a screenshot of her. Need her. I think like, honestly,
that was private.
But no, I feel like there's like, I think a big part of what makes this work for me is that they made a point to style her and like costume and like makeup to make her look good. And like, she's a bit clocky, right? But like, it is not, she's also fucking David Duchovny on No Moans, And like, but they really, like, if they wanted to have her appear as like a, cartoonish, trans woman who can't look the way she really wants to look. Like there's so many ways that TV shows and movies will hit that in makeup and costuming and emphasize all the wrong things and have the clothes fit poorly and the makeup is garish. And like none of that is hit here. She just, you know what I mean? She just looks fucking cunty and just like a fucking FBI agent, for better or worse. But yeah, so she shows up. Take us away on the scene.
Absolutely. Okay, but in terms of what actually happens, oh fuck if I know. I was distracted. Let's see. Denise says, like, actually it's Denise now, not Dennis.
Yeah.
And she shakes everyone's hand except Hawk, who will not shake her hand and like gives her a bit of a ooh look. I guess they just like say like, yeah, let's catch up. We'll get started. See ya, right? Like it's just introducing her basically. There's this line that just felt like very sweet to me. Basically, oh yeah, so Dale asks for like some amount of understanding or generosity in this difficult process, and Denise basically says like, because I'm trans, I have to believe you and be nice. Because my life has been so different lately, I have to be open-minded. Yeah. And I just love that. So, like, we never get a character who's better because they're trans.
Yeah.
Like, it's opened her mind and her heart. That's wonderful. And Dale is like super pleased for her after she leaves. Just is like totally grinning.
And I think honestly also this intro scene is, I think, the worst the show gets about her, in that it does do the whole like, hold on, skirt, what? Record scratch, Denise? You know,
Sure. I very of its time, I would say. Like, people probably needed it laid out that simply, if I
yeah,
had to guess.
yeah. And okay, I'm like, come on, Hawk, shake her hand. And also, it just, why, girl, why is Hawk all of us out here being like, what the heck, you know?
Yeah, no, he's like an open-minded guy. This doesn't feel consistent at all. And really, I can't think of anyone who, like, of the cops, famously, progressive people. I can't think of anyone who would have an issue. Definitely, definitely not Andy, as we'll see.
Yeah, it does feel like, I agree that it feels out of character, but I think like it's also worth saying Dale like doesn't miss a beat. He's just like, okay, Denise, and then is just like,
Yeah.
hello, meet Denise, you know, and like is I think, you know, even in Hawk's credit at the end, like, right, you know, the show is still indulging in like having a little one-liner about her after she leaves, but you know, the one-liner is, well, that color is good. That color is good on her. So, you know, he's coming around, Hawk. But like,
Yeah, sure.
I think this is a moment where like the show itself is making a point to be like, oh my God, guys, this is crazy. This is kind of funny. But like Dale himself is just on board. And I think that's like, it's very sweet.
I don't know that I feel the show is doing that. I don't know. Like, what are you seeing? What's giving you that feeling?
I think just like having the big shock reaction moment and like, you know, like highlighting Hawk not shaking her hand, you know. I think like after this, honestly, the show's kind of over it. But like, I don't know, it's kind of great. Also, it's just like we've just been saying like, you know, female David Duchovny, but it's so funny that it's David Duchovny.
Honestly, okay, I don't think I've seen David Duchovny in anything, and from this point forward, like Denise is such a woman, I can't call her that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, it's great. I really love this.
One last thing to say about her for the moment is her hair is so long.
I
And
know.
like it's beautiful, but it's so long. Like that is like I've never had hair remotely that long before, but like I don't know, like 3 years of growth, maybe more. So how long has it been since they've seen each other? Like what is like it, was she just this way by magic? Because I don't think it's implied to be a wig. Like that would feel different to me.
I feel like it has been a minute since they've seen each other, it feels like, but who could say?
Who could say?
Or magic. Oh, my other note is I love, like, I think maybe there's something here about this. Like, she walks in right after they're talking about the lodges. I don't know. There's something about, like, her entrance right after them talking about, like, the spiritual realm that will, like, transform and like, bring you to perfection. But if you face it with imperfect courage, it'll kill you. That's transgender. If you face transgender with imperfect courage, you will be annihilated, but you can pass through it on the way to perfection. You know?
Fuck. Sure, yeah.
I think there's something there. That's fun to me. Anyway, want to go back to high school?
Back to high school, maybe. Okay. Now we return to the main transgender woman in the show, Nadine,
Yes.
who has shown up at the school gym to ogle Mike Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like commenting on what he's doing, kind of bothering him, and then just sits down next to him and starts lifting, yeah, like 600 pounds in weights
So
effortlessly or
funny.
something. And they're competing basically. Like Snake clearly feels threatened by this, or at least like bewildered. And then the high school, like, I don't know, gym teacher or like coach or whatever comes up and is like, would you consider joining the wrestling team, to Nadine? And what I'm really hoping this is setting up is that she is going to live out her dreams by wrestling with him and like winning. And it's going to be so sexy and beautiful.
Fuck yeah. It's so good.
Like I love a competition between lovers. This is my challengers.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. That's so true. I love your note. This is everything the right word is about.
Yeah. Trans woman in sports kicking ass.
You know, we've seen she was like bending her bars or whatever in like the first or second episode, but she does feel like she went Super Saiyan by losing her memory.
I mean, the fucking throwing someone to 60 feet.
Or it's like, was she just always this strong? Was she like this in high school, but just never showed her true strength because she was shy and nervous or whatever? I don't know. Either way, go off, queen.
True.
So that's just another little one. Okay, we then go to... It's Josie time. So Josie is kind of like, we saw her, she showed up last episode all kind of battered. She is like recovering in Harry's bed. Harry brings her some water and then like goes in with her. And I really don't like the pose that he takes because he's kind of like behind her with his arm around her, but it feels like his, like in some of the shots, like his arm is like restraining her. Like it's like a headlock almost, you know?
Yeah, I don't like the scene. Her vulnerability feels a little scary to me.
Yeah, and I don't know, the show keeps doing this thing of having Harry occupy this like position in relation to her that's like protective, but like in a way that feels threatening. And
well, he has a lot of power over her.
yes, and I don't know, I think it complicates Harry, but I don't think in a way that I like. I just feel like on the one hand, like I also feel like this way about like, you know, the doctor, you know, being the one who's like, okay, Sarah Palmer, here, have your sedative. But I don't know. We'll get into it, I think, when we like really get at the end. But I don't know. There's a lot to say about the way that the show treats Josie versus the way it treats the white women in the show. But so it fades in. Oh yeah, we also have Twin Peaks deploying a new sound sting, which is like these like wind chimes.
Oh, geez.
I know, it really feels like we're hitting the like, all right, pull up the Orientalist soundtrack. So he's like, you know, if we're going to be together, I need to know the truth. And she says that she worked, for this guy called Thomas Eckert in Hong Kong. My one note is just, oh, a British guy in Hong Kong. I'm sure he's not an evil freak. That like she says like sometimes they sell the female children, which again is like feels like sometimes they just do that. Feels like the show just being like, you know how it is in Hong Kong. Sometimes they sell their female children. Don't love it.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
So that like, oh, he took her off the streets. At first she's like, oh, he saved me. She says he was my father, my master, my lover. Alarms are sounding. She's
fuck.
You know, very like, you know, she says, I'd rather die than go back there. Strong echoing of Laura throughout all this. And so that's like big picture. That's the lore. She was with, he took her off the streets. He mentored her. And she like saw in Andrew Packard, he was like a business partner. And she's like, oh, you can protect me from him. I'm going to marry you. But now that he's dead, Eckert is like, oh, I want Josie back. And she thinks that he killed Andrew, although we'll learn more about that at the end of the episode. But yeah, so it's kind of a lore dump. And I think first you tell me what you think about this.
The Laura parallels are clear. I also want to draw a Shelley parallel.
Yeah.
Just in that, like, going from, like, this is someone who is very used to an abusive relationship and sort of runs into a different one for protection. So like Harry here says, you'll never have to go back there. You're with me now.
Mm-hmm.
And this feels very like Shelley being with Bobby. It's like, I've claimed you, you know, like,
yeah.
It feels, literally like paternalistic. If that relationship is any indication, and if it's interested in treating these things, you know, consistently across characters, I don't think this is going to end well. But at the same time, Harry is treated the most kindly of almost anyone in the show. Like he is pretty much never criticized. He's like saintly almost.
Yeah.
I guess what troubles me is I'm unclear what the show wants us to feel about this or how it is judging Harry for all this. Like I said, I think in the last episode that like when Josie came home and he just like fucking got on top of her and started kissing. I fucking hated that. Like that sat so
Yes.
badly for
Yes,
me.
definitely.
And this feels very similar, you know, with Josie in like the middle of the bed and Harry like enveloping her. Just yeah, very, you know, anxious.
I think that's a big part of it for me is like this show is full of women who are treated poorly and is full of men who we the show is in like Bobby, even Ben Horne to a degree, sometimes Dale, you know, is full of men that it is like playing on the tension between this guy is treating the women around him poorly and sometimes he is very charming to us. And I think it doesn't feel, and like I've even talked about how it feels like there's a lot of early Twin Peaks when it is like feels very celebratory of Dale and of the town, when there's this like very underlying subtle but feels very present to me on a rewatch especially undercurrent of criticism. You know, I think so much about the first couple episodes, and I think in the pilot where again Donna's dad, the doctor, is sedating Sarah Palmer, and how much that feels like on a rewatch, especially a sign that like this character who's being framed so benevolently is still complicit in this violence. And I think
Yeah.
it's all of that, even when it's not immediately clear, it feels to me very like the show knows that it's doing that. And it feels like with Josie and Harry, the show doesn't think or know that what Harry's doing is wrong. You know, like I don't even when with these other characters it's sometimes this real like undertow thing. I don't get that sense here, and I don't feel like there is the show is critiquing explicitly or implicitly the way that Harry is treating her. It feels like the show is like, yeah, she showed up so he kisses her. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like there's an assumption that this kind of treatment that's like, yeah, you know, that this is okay for her or okay to do to her because of her race.
Yeah.
I think there's also like there's something about like the different ways for a woman to be like a mystery, quote unquote. Like Laura is for, you know, much of the show and even still now like a mystery, but like for Laura who's a dead character, I feel like we have had more insight into her agency and motivations than Josie's, you know?
Yeah, I don't like how, I mean, honestly, early in the show, I thought that she was like pretty high up in the power rankings.
Yeah.
She was in control of the mill and she seemed to be like prevailing over the forces of Catherine. But now it feels like she's just like a rag doll. Like she's been being thrown
Yeah.
around by everyone, used in everyone else's plots.
And it doesn't feel like she's trying to, you know, the writing doesn't afford her the ability to want or make things happen, you know? Like she is just kind of tossed
Yeah.
around by the plot. Well, to get to this, certainly in the last scene, but like, you know, even like Laura was trapped, and I think we get a real sense of her while being trapped, taking action and rattling the bars of her cage and trying to do things. And Josie
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
feels just like the show is in the writing is forbidding her the ability to take even that kind of action and is just so passive. And I don't know, there isn't the same sense, the thing I always come back to, of like curiosity.
That's it.
When the show represents Laura or Audrey or Shelley, it can also be incurious about those characters, but broadly is like very curious and empathetic and wants to know what their experience of that is like. And the show feels much less interested in what Josie's experience of this is like than like
Yeah.
what she looks like to Harry, right? It is like doing the like you are suffering, you are vulnerable, and this is like a something to consume. You know, like I feel like the show is treating Josie, when we talked about like the town kind of treating the murder, like subliminally treating the murder of Maddie as kind of this like aesthetic performance to consume. It feels like the show is treating Josie the way that the town was treating Laura and Maddie, you know?
That's fucking it. You hit the nail on the head.
And it doesn't it doesn't feel like it knows that it's doing that. So I don't know. I don't love it. It's not great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, I want to say really quick before we move on that like I think this is like at the core a bad idea and also handled poorly. But also, I feel like this is an episode where like the chickens are coming home to roost. It feels like we are revealing many things that have been like danced around to this point. And like, if the idea with Josie was that she would like this was always her backstory and Catherine's plot about her was always this way, like it just feels like this was never going to be good, even if David Lynch was still in charge.
No, I agree. You know, I think a lot about the Shoo Shoo Twin Peaks album. That have you listened to it yet?
No, I've been waiting for our episode, and of course they got their name from a movie directed by Joan Chen.
So there is a like the part of why I was like, oh, you can't listen to it yet is because the last song on that album is called Josie's Past, and it is do you know the name of the woman in Shoo Shoo?
Angela.
It is Angela of Shoo Shoo like reading Laura's diary over like instrumentation, and it's like the Laura's diary stuff. I think it's Angela, it could be someone else, but like this is why I was like, yeah, you can't listen to it, because the Laura's diary stuff that's like,
damn,
you know, spoils the whole plot of the show up until then. And I think there's something about calling that Josie's Past, because like we have this vision through the diary into what it was like for Laura to experience this violence, and you know, we're gonna get a whole movie, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, about what it was like for Laura to experience that violence. And the show is like, well, Josie just went through it, we don't need to worry about what it was like, you know. Anyway, so we'll return, unfortunately, to that, but we then have a little scene. We have a little diner interlude with two pieces here. One, first we have Hank and Ernie back from their fucking drug and also insurance scam stealing scheme meeting with Jean Renault, which, as we know, they were dressing up as kind of going hunting. We find out because Ernie, the professor, Norma goes out and is like, did you catch anything? And he's like, oh, catch anything? I hope not. Haha, STIs. But then he's like, oh, no. Yeah. I shot this big buck. It was fucking epic.
He's like barely even trying though, right? Like,
yeah. And you know, he's like, oh, I should go find your mama. And she's like, no, she went to Seattle, and you should too. Ooh, burn. There's something I realized about Hank's performance, that he's like kind of We Have Han Solo at home a little bit.
Interesting. I haven't seen Star Wars in like 20 years probably. What about him?
I don't know. There's just something about the way he's doing his like swagger, and he's like, hey, what's up? That's not what Han Solo was like. Hey, I'm walking here. I don't know. There's something in it that feels like it's emulating this kind of Harrison Ford, like, I'm charming, and part of how I'm being charming is that I'm kind of an asshole, but you love it, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's a shame the show didn't come out like 10 years later, because they could have done the Gilmore Girls thing and have a character who was literally just like beat for beat Joey Tribbiani from Friends.
It's so funny.
That show, it's just like the most weird shoehorned in character who's like totally internally inconsistent. Everyone knows who I'm talking about if you've seen Gilmore Girls, but I just needed a place to vent about that. Just crazy decision, does not pay off at all. We can carry on.
The Gilmore Girls corner. We then get our other little half of this diner scene, which is they are having their famous malted Andy, Dick, and Little Nicky. And Nicky does a double prank. He first pranks... How does he prank Dick? Do you remember?
He pranks Dick by blowing the whipped cream from his malted into Dick's face.
Oh, yes. And, you know, at first Andy's like, don't worry, that's okay. And I think he gets up, and then fucking Nicky spins his, like, spinning stool so that when he sits back down, he is ricocheted and launched out onto the floor.
And he hits his tailbone really bad. He's like really hurt.
Yeah. Of course, then Dick is like, of course, it's okay. Uncle Andy went funny boom boom, didn't he?
Insane line. And like, I hate
so
this guy
funny.
with kids. Like, that's not, don't talk that way, man.
It really is like they're both being like, oh, I'm gonna be this kid's favorite, but also like, I want to encourage you to do fucking Looney Tunes pranks to the other one because it's funny to me when he goes funny boom boom.
Yeah, it's true. I like that they both are totally forgiving, not only because they dislike the other person, but because they both want like to be popular with this 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cute.
Yeah, it's another one of these scenes. I'm charmed by it. Not really too much to say, but they're having fun.
Yeah, they're having fun. Hey, what time is it, Sadie?
It's time for Tales from the Log.
Yeah. Hey, we should get some music for Tales from the Log.
Oh shit, that would be sick.
We should maybe commission like a little sting.
Oh, that would be great. Anyway,
with a wood block. Okay. Yes.
With a wood block. Okay. You know what's funny is if we do that, then we'll have put it in many episodes ago, and then now people will be like, "Whoa, it's the origin." Anyway, so people who are not in this episode: Shelly is not here, Bobby's not here, Donna's dad. Oh, Ed is not in this episode.
Ed is not in the... Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And neither is Lucy.
Majorly, neither is Major Garland Briggs.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you want to say what he's been doing?
Kind of, because like that's an actual plot point. Is what's he doing?
Do you think he's ahead in space at this juncture?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think he's will he become ahead in space?
This season, I don't see it.
When will he become ahead in space?
My guess is between the events of season 2 and 3.
Okay, so what do you think he's doing right now?
Okay, so I think... Okay, we're gonna call some major shots here. I think he was whisked away to the White Lodge. Because the lightning was white.
True.
And let's just decide what that is right now.
Okay.
It's white because, okay, like presumably the Black Lodge is made of like a dark wood. The White Lodge is made of, I'm inclined to say either marble or white chocolate.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Neither is really lodge material, but I guess like a Freemason lodge could be made of marble. Yeah, we'll keep that as is. Okay, as to what he's actually doing.
Oh, is the White Lodge like when he had that dream of like the palatial mansion where he saw Bobby and felt the big love?
Oh my god, that's a great idea. Yeah, so this is a place where he's comfortable and familiar. Because he's like an attuned dude, I think whatever entities inhabit the White Lodge are like curious about him and like how humans are, and he can be like a good go-between. I think he is a good buddy to them.
I'm trying to think of an activity that David Lynch would say is what they're doing, like the way for him to communicate with them. Like, I feel like it would be some like very like 50s Americana thing. Like, I was almost tempted to say like, is the White Lodge a diner? But I like this better. But like, what's his way of being like, I'm communicating with them by doing like, I don't know, like not bocce ball, but like something like playing or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like that kind of activity.
I really like that. Well, to be honest, the first thing that came up to mind for me is bowling.
Oh, that's great.
Feels very 50s.
Yeah. So in this episode, Garland Briggs has been whisked to the White Lodge. It's made of marble or white chocolate. It's the palatial mansion where he saw Bobby and felt the big love in his dream. The entities that live there are curious about him because he's so attuned and so he can be a good buddy to them. They go bowling. There's a bowling alley in this mansion. And the way that in which they are bowling is like revealing to him truths and clues. He's like, oh, there's this one pin that never gets knocked down. That means that in the investigation we're missing something or whatever.
I love that. That's excellent.
All right.
You know what? We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back with the rest of the scenes. Shall I reintroduce us?
Yeah, we're back. Sorry, I said yes and then I just said we're back, but...
Let's just keep that in. Okay, next up we got James and Evelyn. Ooh, mama. They're in... They're in Evelyn's garage looking at Evelyn's husband's fancy car, which is gorgeous, by the way. It's like a light blue. It's got this like really nice metallic sheen to it. I can't really describe. She's basically like, oh, my husband is always away. I don't know where he is. Like, you get the feeling that he's not a very good husband. Also, I suspect that maybe he's involved in crimes, but that's a different story.
You know what I just realized, just speaking about the car, when we watched Sunset Boulevard way back and we were like, oh, this car is also in Mulholland Drive and stuff, I think this might even be the same or a similar type of car to the one that's featured in Sunset Boulevard.
Well, it's definitely old-timey, but wasn't the
Yeah.
thing with the Sunset Boulevard car that it was like from the 20s or something?
I think she says this car is also like from the 20s or something.
My God.
Yeah, this car was built in 1923. Because she's like, Jeffrey has to have the most unique and beautiful toys. They have to be perfect. He's that way about everything he owns. I could have learned something from that if I'd been paying attention.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, so she's basically just exposition dumping at us. She's like, my life is this and this and this and this and this, because we need something to do. I don't mind it at all. So basically, yeah, like James has his little, is this where he has his thing about like, it's not about the bike, it's about where it can take me and like the emotional places and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of cool. I like that he has a little bit of that intrigue to him.
Yeah. This is where I wrote, I don't believe he's an epic biker, but, good for him. I just want to shout out again, my first note here is just back to king shit at fuck mansion. I think it's like, he's wearing his like a stupid little sweater.
Yeah.
I don't know. This shit's so funny to me. I can't. It's so funny. It is literally softcore pornography. She's just like, oh, you're so, you can stay here and have room and board and whatever else you think is fair.
I want to say super sexy premise. Like this totally works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invite the scrawny little rat boy into your house. I support this 100% and I hope they have a wonderful time together.
I'm so glad, because this is what I know. This is like, people say this plotline is one of the ones that they really hate. To me, it is really just take me away on your funny little ride. It's so funny to me.
You know what I will say is I have no idea how this connects to like James's arc. Like it feels like a really random move.
Yeah, he just left the show. He's in a different show now. It's like the first time that we're seeing people do things outside the town of Twin Peaks, and he's just like, okay, guys, I'm gonna go be in a softcore porn. I'll be right back. I'll be back in a couple episodes. Like, it's crazy. Like,
they even tell us, right? Like, he'll be back in a couple episodes. Like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. So, like, in that sense, it feels like this is a little less locked in. But I also like how it's playing with these conventions. I feel like normally this is one thing that I'm definitely noticing with this episode. The cliches are being deployed with a little less purpose.
I agree. Yeah.
Like here it just feels like, oh, this could be fun. But it is fun. It's fun.
So next up, we are checking in on Ben Horne. He's watching a like old home movie of the opening ceremony or whatever of the Great Northern. I love when we first see it. I think it's supposed to be like it's like the corner of the poster for it says like something developing ink, but it looks like it just says eloping ink, which is funny to me.
Oh my God, yeah.
So he's like watching him and Jerry be little goofballs as they're breaking the ground with the shovel, doing the ceremonial, like breaking the ground. He's reciting, I see you wrote your poetry. What is this? It's Shakespeare. It's actually the opening. It's like, now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York. Is the opening soliloquy from Richard III, which I'm actually, honestly, the historical Shakespeare plays are the ones that I have like almost no experience with, but I know that this is the opening line of that play, and it is the villain basically saying, I'm gonna kill my brother and the king.
Oh.
So I think there's like something going on with that here in terms of like the betrayal that's about to come, not actually from Jerry, but the betrayal from Hank and from Jean, this kind of treacherous speech, but also is definitely just doing the like, I remember my summer, time has gone by. So it's using this
Mhm.
Shakespeare as kind of putting it at a bit of an angle. I think this works for me. I think there's something really fun about like it is this, David Lynch Twin Peaks film as illusion. He would get totally got by No High Banda at this point. You know what I mean? He's like wants to be in this illusionary like film world. There's the way he's like caressing his mother, presumably in the footage, and like kisses her cheek in a way that I think kind of evokes the like specter of incest. Obviously, there was that with him and Audrey back in season 1. I think there's like a lot of ways in which the show, while it's still like moving on from Laura Palmer and Leland, everything still feels kind of like haunted by it.
Mm.
I think this works for me of like Ben as still haunted by these like dark motivations and just this way of understanding the world that is like fundamentally he's not in the world, he's in this his memories and these illusion of film and everything. I don't know.
Sure.
So long story short, he's doing that, and then Hank comes in and is like, "Hey, I don't work for you, and also we stole One Eyed Jacks. Fuck off," and then leaves. And then Ben is kind of getting a bit manic and is like making shadow puppets up against the screen, with the projector light.
Which he's really good at, by the way.
I know, right? But I wish that we had spent more time with that, because I think there's like a differently directed version of this scene. I think it feels a kind of like all business, which is another thing that I really remember like striking me about the bits of Twin Peaks season 2, is how like it is like, okay, we're delivering the information, we're getting in, we're getting out. And I think, David Lynch is not afraid to just be like, all right, fuck it, we're spending some time here,
Mm.
And I think I would have liked this more if we spent a bit more like time with his like manic shadow puppets. Could have been really fun, but I think nonetheless the ideas here are fun and really work for me. My other notes here are he says he's been thinking about like the arrangements of objects in a room can confer great benefits. He's on feng shui, and basically Hank comes in and he's like just really on his bullshit until he realizes that Hank is betraying him. He starts like licking his lips like a lizard for a moment.
Oh.
He says like, oh, you're, Jean Renault, you're dancing with the devil, which is very fun because that's what he was doing with Leland. Exactly. Right.
It's true.
Like when Leland showed up to him, they started dancing. He calls him a goon, which I just wrote, Hank, you gooner. Anyway, I've been saying a lot. How's this scene for you?
To be honest, dude, I appreciate your perspective because this did very little for me. I didn't, not that I disliked it, but I just wouldn't say I took anything away from it. I was like, huh, okay, I guess he's doing weirdly. I guess that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I think it is funny that he has lost absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I like he's complaining to Hank that like, what is it, the ghost wood in the mill or something?
Yeah.
And then Hank's like, well, actually, on top of that,
Taking One Eyed Jacks, yeah.
And yet it's impossible not to feel some level of compassion for him because like we're seeing him in this state.
Yeah.
I agree that it's a little more complicated than we're just looking at him for mockery. I think the show is too empathetic for that, at least to some people. Yeah. I honestly feel like I did not take away very much from this one, but I'm glad you did.
I think it's like those beats work for me. They are definitely kind of being like, okay, we need to get Ben Horne be kind of crazy and manic, because I guess that's where we want him to go. So he's just like that now. Everything got to him. He wasn't really like that last time, but now he's going there.
Yeah, you're right. I still feel like the big unanswered thing for me is like, what's up with him and Audrey? Like, do they live together? What's the situation here? That feels like much more pressing to me at this juncture.
Yeah, I agree. God, that is, and even like, yeah, the fact that he still has Laura's picture on his desk is like, bro.
Fuck you, man. Okay, like Audrey is in this episode in the hotel. Like I wouldn't want to be. Would you? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's weird that they're not spending more time with that. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Should we keep it going?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
Okay, it's fucking Window Merle time. So
Window Merle.
Coop gets a letter from Window Merle. I think I've told you, but I always think about on a more civilized age, the Austin Walker and other Star Wars podcast, how you've seen the Star Wars prequels, right?
Yes, but I was like 4.
This is a very Star Wars episode. Well, Mace Windu famously gets thrown out a window, right? Samuel L. Jackson's character by Palpatine. He throws him out a window. And as it is like an unintentional running bit that throughout the show, they just keep accidentally calling him Mace Window. And it gets me every time.
Yeah, you have told me about this. That's great.
Anyway, Window Merle has sent a letter to Coop. It has another chess move and a little tape. Basically just saying, by traditional opening, your responding move was nothing if not reflective of your predilection for the tidy and fastidious. Blah, 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 we're playing chess, what are my true intentions? He does say hobgoblins, Dale, which is funny. I guess Dale's hobgoblins are his consistency and predictability. Blah, 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 blah. Our knights will skirmish. Pawns will be forfeit. I'm even prepared to sacrifice my queen because I assure you, dear Dale, my goal must be attained at any cost. The king must die. Bum, 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 bum.
Which, okay, by the way, parallels the soliloquy you were just talking about, right? Like, I'm scheming and want to kill.
True. Sorry, also, the note that he says is P to Q4, I believe.
Yeah.
Which, that's not a chess move. There's no Q.
No.
Like, what's going on?
It feels like it would have been so easy to make that a real chess move. It's like, that must be on purpose, right?
Yeah, I really don't know what that's about. Because Dale does seem to just be like, okay, sure. Yeah, he looks at his little chessboard. Maybe I don't understand chess notation, because it certainly looks like it's supposed to be a Q.
This answers the question, by the way, for me, like, hey, well, Dale's not on the case. What's he going to be doing? Like, what do we have him doing for the next 10 episodes? So I'm glad I know that at least.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing a deadly chess game with Wyndham Earl.
Chess in the Mail is an exquisite, like, that is a really good thing to call to, I think.
Yeah, it's fun. I do think that it is something where like it does feel like more like normal as a conflict. Like it feels like a normal kind of, when a procedural has a like overarching plot, the like, oh, this crazy guy's coming for you and he's wants to get you and he's sending you chess moves is very like, feels like the kind of thing that would happen in a more normal police procedural, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I also now I'm going to be thinking for the whole length of our podcast about what if Wyndham Earl was Nicolas Cage.
Man, yeah, missed opportunity.
Oh, I do really like also there's a bit when he like puts the cassette tape into his player. It's like he's loading it like a gun, which is fun.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that's a little bit there. Also another kind of like Denise punchline at the end when he's like, by the way, I think as Denise calls him to tell him something, and then he's like, by the way, Diane, remind me to tell you about Agent Bryson, which is again kind of just like it makes sense for him to be doing that, but it is the show using it a little bit as a punchline. And then we have then it's wedding time. Want to tell us about the wedding?
Yeah, okay. We are here for some reason with Dougie and his beautiful bride, who is much younger. In the audience, Hawk, Harry, Dougie's disgruntled brother, the like priest, the officiant, with sort of funny facial hair and ears, says, if there's any reason that anyone should object, please, yada da da da. And his brother stands up and he goes, I've seen this before. She just wants his money and his publishing empire.
I think it's something you had shouted out last episode, but these two really are Statler and Waldorf. Like, there's a point where one of them laughs, and it is just the, like, Muppet Statler and Waldorf laugh.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I swear. Okay, I think objecting at a wedding is, like, among our best tropes. I think that's so fun.
Mm.
I don't understand why it needed to happen, but it doesn't matter. None of it's all TV. All of it's optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne just keeps like going and going. This is the mayor, right, Dwayne?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was unclear on which one was the mayor, to be honest with you. Um, Harry stands up and he's like, now, okay, come on, man." And they leave together, and that's the scene.
Yeah.
Any comments?
It is really funny how much the show is really like, all right, we're done with the Laura Palmer thing. Now the town's new subplot is these two old men, and one of them's getting married, and it is really like bizarrely fixated on that. But yeah, take us to the reception.
Sure. And by the way, I think all this would have worked much better if they waited for the reveal, because it's that there was such a crucial and like pertinent first 9 episodes of the season, and now there's this. But this isn't like bad. It's just not as important.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Wedding reception. Mademoiselle Bryson is sitting at the bar with some flowers. She says to Dale that I have found some traces of cocaine in your car. And like, yeah, I know that you could be set up, but I need you to like, work with me to like prove that then if that's true. And then they get into like, can I ask you a personal question? Which Denise this is the most realistic bit of trans representation, is this girl just loves to talk about her transition and why it happened.
It's so funny.
Like for a lot of people, that's the most interesting thing that's ever happened to them. No shade. So yeah, she tells the whole story, which I think is, well, I'll just tell the story. She was doing some sort of like operation that she needed to be a transvestite because this vendor of some kind would only sell to transvestites, and then she realized that she actually really liked it, so she stayed this way even when she went to bed. And then like it just stuck. As she said, it was a wild, confusing couple weeks, but she seems happy now.
Sorry, I have the like shooting script open.
Yeah,
there's a line of hers in the script that was not in the episode, which is crazy. I want to read. This is right after she said it was a very confusing 2 weeks. So one thing led to another, and I'm currently into a specialized kind of program called Gender Relocation Inhibition Therapy, or GRIT. Part of my treatment is to dress the part for 6 months prior to any further therapy, hormones, electrolysis.
Wow, they were trying to give Trans 101 on this show. Like we're talking real life test. I love that it's called Grit though.
It's so funny. Wow, they're really making her hit that fucking Harry Benjamin shit,
For real.
It's funny. I wonder if they took this out. I mean, partially it could just be like, we don't need to get that into it, but in the shooting script, then Cooper's next line of like, this is all a pretty astounding disclosure, has the like direction of more than he wanted to hear, which is actually not at all the vibe that he delivers it as.
No, I think they must have changed directions.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful, because if she was oversharing and like getting too personal about her body, like that would not land well for me.
Yeah, I agree. But I do love how like she likes to talk about it. I love that she likes her little jokes. I think like, before this she's like, I've been trying to get more in touch with my feelings. It's really the vibe of like, you're with cis people and you're like, you do a little joke partially just to like lighten the atmosphere and, wipe away some tension, but also sometimes as a like she has a little like mischievousness to it of like, listen, sometimes I'm with a cis friend and I'll like make a little joke that I know that they can't laugh at, right? Just to see them be like, haha, yeah, good one. In theory, you know what I mean?
In theory. I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. I love like at the end, she's like, it's not, I think when he says like, oh, this is pretty astounding. And she's like, you're telling me it's not exactly something you plan on, is cute,
Yeah. Like, I feel like she has internality. I feel like she's like actually experiencing this. And like, I feel like often with trans characters, it's like either something that they need to like give into because it's just like a terrible thing that's going to ruin their life, if like, well, sort of either way. Or it's like a crazed sort of like a feverish thing But she's like having an experience of it at all, which is more than you can say about like even many modern trans characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a low bar, but you know, it's cleared.
There's also some other really fun notes I love. There's a little moment when the bride is like, "Oh, you're that FBI guy," and he's like, "Ah, not anymore. He's now gonna have to introduce himself as Dale Cooper, normal agent." But I'll let you introduce the final precious detail in this scene.
Oh, sure. I have a couple more things
Oh
first.
yeah. Go for it.
There's just like a lot of low stakes wedding gossip, right? Like the mayor says of his brother, you know, he's a trout on a hook. And Pete just looks troubled by this. He's sitting next to him. I figure because it reminds him of the fish in the percolator.
That's so funny. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, that's so funny.
Margaret and Pete have a kind of interesting little moment here. Like she just says something kind of nice to him. I don't really remember.
I do love that at the beginning she's like, "Oh, I love Milford weddings." It's obviously like doing the joke of like this guy gets married all the time, but I think it's really funny that the log lady, who is like the most antisocial character, you know, she's sticking her gum on shit. She's always just like, "No, don't talk to me." But she's like, "Oh, I love these weddings. I love to get out."
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Okay, but of course I do know what you were referring to with the one final thing, which is that Andy and Denise dance together, and it's like the sweetest. Oh my God, Andy just looks like wow. He looks like that Vince McMahon meme, right?
Yeah.
Just like totally. It's like the thrill of discovery. He's enamored, and Denise looks very happy too.
Yeah, it's so funny. He is having a great time. This is truly Andy is discovering his transamory. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, I adore it.
He's going to be writing into TSQ by the time the show is done.
Okay, one quick thing about just because, you know, we got some time here. We've been blazing through. Quick thing about Denise. It's interesting to me the extent to which media of this time did not distinguish between trans women and cross-dressers. And like
Yeah.
obviously some of that is very shitty. But it also seems to think, well, you know, if you're dressing like a woman, then you know that's how you are in the world, and like it's just not really curious about like the identity question. It feels kind of ambiguous to me in the script because it's described as like, you know, she just likes dressing a certain way. I mean, of course, I do think she is a TS and not a TV, so to speak.
So true. I mean, it's interesting that like she does in the shooting script then talk about like hormones and electrolysis, etc., you know?
Yeah, it's funny that the specifics of her gender thing were not really nailed down since that was cut.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, you know, they don't need the genderbread man. It's okay.
No, that's it. We love you, girl.
Yeah. Okay. Last scene, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it is a stinker. So Josie goes to Catherine. She's at first just like, you know, "I'm sorry for how shit worked out. I was trying to help you, da-da-da." And Catherine's like, "I am going to blackmail you into being my maid," basically.
Yeah.
Josie leaves, and then, oh my God, Andrew Packard enters, and he's actually alive, and they're using her as bait to get Eckard here to, I don't know, get him, because Eckard tried to kill him, I guess.
This is fucking crazy. Sorry, you go.
So, I think, okay, we've said all this shit about Harry, but she's like, he and Dale, you know, these are people that we have all these, like, I don't just want to say like, yeah, they'll just help you because they didn't help Laura, but like, she is just like, yeah, I have to go to Catherine and then be her maid because there's nothing else for me to do. And like, she's put in a very vulnerable position, but it feels like she just accepts that because that's what the show decides it's time for her to do. And there's no sense, like, it feels like there would be other avenues that she could take. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just earlier in this episode, like Harry was like, "I'll protect you." And the show seemed like it believed that, but clearly it's not happening.
You know, and it's like, not even we need to co-sign like Harry would be a good protector or whatever, but I think it's just like there's no sense of her as a character being able to decide to do a thing. It's just like the show says, this is your predicament now. And she goes, yes, of course, nothing to do about it, in a way that doesn't feel real. And I don't love it. This whole exchange with Catherine, for one, Catherine is in like wearing a kimono, which again just feels like a reminder of the insane yellow face and this like Orientalist like show of I can wear this, I can take this, I can display this like quote unquote Asian outfit as a power display over Josie. And so, you know, Josie comes in and is like, you know, I'm trying to help you. I did these things because I had to do it to stay alive, but you're in danger. Josie says, I'm at your mercy. And Catherine's like, okay, well, then you're going to be my maid. If you disobey me, if you lie to me, if you contradict a single thing I'll tell you, I'll find this Eckert and feed you to him by hand. Vile, horrible. And like,
oh my God,
we've seen Catherine be the schemer, and I've enjoyed seeing her be the evil schemer, but I think it also sucks all the enjoyment out of her character for now her scheme to be like, you're gonna be my like sexualized maid slave, and I will like return you to your like fucking like childhood sexual abuser if you know, do anything about it. And again, it just feels like it's not the kind of inversion, you know, the show has done this inversion with Leland and with the people who support Leland, but it feels here it is just for shock value, and it is for the like yeah, the like, oh, what a horrible situation. It's kind of hot. Let's just watch that and absorb this racialized woman going through this in a way that has like so much less empathy for that experience than, I don't know, I'm saying all the shit we said before, but like any of the white women in the show that like are going through shit. And it's not playing this turn the way it does the Leland turn, when it's like, oh my God, we are really, the show is clear about like, this is sickening and the people that support it are sickening. It's playing it as if it's just like, and the schemes are still happening, you know?
Yeah, it's just Catherine's schemes. It feels like it should be very different from that. I agree.
And yeah, it feels like as a viewer, we're expected to be like, oh, a new scheme, but it's like, no, this is appalling, you know? And I don't know, it I think makes it impossible to enjoy this plotline in the way that some of the previous Catherine plotlines have been enjoyable, just as like, oh, what bullshit is she going to get up to now? Because, I mean, on top of all the yellow face stuff, it's now just like predicated on keeping this woman as a slave with the threat that she'll be like forced into sexual slavery if she does anything about it. It's vile.
It's the kind of like humiliation that I feel like most of the women in the show would not be put through. Like, of course, unbelievably awful things have happened to Maddie, Laura, Audrey. Each of them had some role to play in the things that were unfolding. They were fighting against it. They were trying to do something. All of them were trying to do something.
Yeah.
She is just like an object that the plot is acting on.
Yeah, and she just is just like, okay, yes, I guess this is what I'm doing now, you know? And even just like, yeah, as a character, I'm like, girl, you would try to do something. You wouldn't just be like, yes, this is what's happening. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's, I don't know. It's, I don't know. I don't love it. It's just, it's truly, I've said it before, I think the honest to goodness, like the black stain on Twin Peaks season 2 is how it treats Josie. And yeah, we're here now. I hate it.
That's it, man. My dream version of this show has her as like also a successful scheming woman, and she and Catherine are like deadlocked in some sort of plot between each other.
Oh, that would be so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause Josie's a fucking interesting character, or at least she starts that way. Like, I really thought that they were setting her up to be like be more of a Catherine.
Yeah, and the moments when we've seen her do that, like I think about her getting her money from Ben, she shines, right? Like, and even if she is going to be in like this predicament, there is just no curiosity and interest in what that is like as an experience. And it is just using it as set dressing. And it really throws a pall over all this, including this final reveal. Oh my God, Andrew Packard comes in. He's alive. And he's like, oh, everything is going exactly as we planned. And now Thomas Eckert will come and we'll get him. And like, honestly, that's the kind of insane reveal that if it wasn't like immediately like preceded by this scene that puts such a horrible taste in your mouth, I could have fun with that. I could have fun with like the guy that we thought was dead the whole show is actually alive and he's got his own insane scheme and he's actually like perfect. I thought that they would try to kill you in a fire and then you could do yellow face and then we'll get Josie. Josie will try to escape, but then she'll get taken back to Hong Kong, but then try to escape, and then she'll be with us, and then we'll be able to entrap her, and then Eckerd will come from Hong Kong here, and then I'll kill him for trying to kill me, and I've been hiding for the whole 2 seasons of the show. Like, there's a version of that.
Where the fuck has he been even? Oh my God.
You know, there's a version of that I'm like, in the same way that all of the crazy machinations in season 1, I'm just like, I like your funny words, Magic Man. Take me on your funny little ride, you know?
Sure.
But the way that it's deployed here just still has such a sick taste to it because of how implicated it is with the way it's treating Josie. And also, like, presumably he has beef with Eckerd because of him trying to kill him. But, like, was he just lying to Josie throughout their marriage? I don't know. It's all the implications about it are gross and not in the kind of way that sometimes the show will deploy gross implications in ways that feel intentional and like complicating things, and it knows what it's doing. It just feels like the show doesn't know what it's doing and is taking a lot for granted about what we assume is okay for an Asian woman to experience, and it fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bummer. End of the episode. But do we want to talk about Two Truths and a Lie?
Yeah, okay. Remind me, Sadie, what are the ones that you've given me to work with?
And actually, I do have a slight correction to make. And I'm not going to... This doesn't mean that this one is true or false, but whether I was making it up or remembering it, I was taking it from an element of the show that I slightly misremembered. So, Andy and Dick Tremayne become convinced that little Nicky is the devil from Da Bible. Previously, I'd said that it was Lucy's foster kid was fathered by the devil, but no. This one is Andy and Dick Tremayne become convinced that little Nicky is the devil from Da Bible. 2. Bobby Briggs finds redemption coaching Nadine on how to be the best high school football player in Twin Peaks high school history. Or 3, Leo Johnson enters a non-consensual S&M relationship with Wyndham Earle, and that was the one that you had marked as a lie last episode. Do you want to revisit that at all?
I think I stand by this, and your adjustment to the Andy and Dick thing has just made me more confident that it's true, because no way, man. I don't think you would correct one if it was the lie. No way. Yeah, I'm gonna say I feel like Bobby is gonna need something to do at some point, so he might as well go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
The Leo Johnson and Wyndham thing is looking slightly more plausible, just knowing what kind of evil schemes Wyndham Earle likes to do. But I don't think he'll show up in town if he's threatening Dale. So yeah, I'm gonna stand by my current pick that is the lie.
Of note, Nadine is in high school, but she's currently being recruited for the wrestling team, and not. But do you think she could do like a cross sport jump around? Like she's so good at wrestling.
Jump around.
Yeah, a cross sport jump around. She's so good at wrestling that then the football coach is like, we need to get her on the football team.
Well, presumably she's also on the cheer team, so I could see her just.
Oh my God, she did try out for the cheer. Yeah.
Being in every sport. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
All of the coaches and club leaders are having a bidding war over Nadine.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so currently the lie is that Leo Johnson enters a non-consensual S&M relationship with Wyndham Earle. Do you have any crazy dreams?
I don't think I have, or at least I haven't been writing them down. Yeah, I'm afraid not.
Yeah, I also don't have dreams to report this week, so tune in next time for dreams.
This concludes Lily's Nightmare Corner.
Yeah.
Boo.
So last time we predicted that next time on Twin Peaks would be female David Duchovny shows up to advocate for Dale. She knows a little of secret. She knows a little of secret about the Mounties' involvement by coincidence. She's also been breaking the rule in investigating Canada, that most suspicious of countries.
No.
No, I feel like,
No.
well, she does show up and she's advocating for Dale a bit.
I would say she's very even-handed, and I would say that we knew for a fact that she was going to show up this episode. So I appreciate your generosity, but
yeah, fair enough. Dale tries to be on his best behavior and not investigate, so Harry and Hawk team up with Bobby to investigate his father's disappearance, and Audrey too, because that would be fun. That was my insertion. This is another classic Twin Peaks, like they introduce a plot thing, like dramatic plot event at the end of the episode, and sometimes that means they'll get to it next episode, and sometimes it means they'll get to it in 4 episodes, so none of that happened this week, because instead they just met with his wife, and she was like, yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. I don't know what shots to call right now, though.
Yeah, let me see. So, open plot lines. We have this investigation. We have Wyndham Earl. Maybe Wyndham Earl escalates. Is something going to happen with James at Fuck Mansion? Is that husband who travels, is he going to come home? Yeah, I don't know. Is any of this jumping out at you?
I'm so sorry, but it's kind of not.
Okay, well, so I don't know. Do you want to just I like?
Can we give Donna something to do?
Yeah, let's give Donna. Oh, true. She wasn't here this episode. Yeah. What's Donna gonna do?
Okay, I think she remains concerned about. Wait, was it her or Audrey talking to Nadine in the high school?
It was Donna, actually. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention it then, but she was wearing a very funny little vest. It was just really giving, like, when you're a lesbian in high school, and so you're like, I don't know, man, I have a vest. Anyway.
Go off. Okay. I'm going to say that she remains concerned about Ed's well-being and feels a responsibility, especially now that James is gone, to like be someone else, like to be there for him in some way. So I think she goes and talks to Ed and is like, I'm worried that Nadine's gonna have an affair. And then I think Ed has a lot of restrained but clearly big feelings and ultimately does not do anything.
You know, sometimes you make big called shots that are in line with sometimes the big swings the show takes. I think this is a very on the nose prediction for the pace at which the show has been moving through some of these plots. You know, it's a real Alice Munro short story. Ed has restrained but big feelings and ultimately doesn't do anything. Okay, A plot. We've got FBI investigation. We've got Jean Reno. We've got Hank who's trying to sell drugs. That could Hank and Ernie selling drugs could.
Oh, yeah. I think there's potential there. I just honestly, like, I am entertained when Ernie is on screen, but I don't fucking care what he's up to.
Yeah.
I also think he's probably going to go back to Seattle. So, hey, did we ever hear from that guy who turned out to be like an agent of some kind who was eating in the diner? Who was that? That wasn't Wyndham Earl, was it?
No, there was a district attorney who was trying to find Hank, I think.
Right. So we saw him. He had his moment in court.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling how the showrunners felt at this point.
I don't know. Okay, just give me something crazy that Wyndham Earl does. How does Wyndham Earl escalate his chess moves? Does he threaten someone?
He introduces checkers pieces.
Wyndham Earl. I'm writing Wyndham Earl, comma, dastard that he is.
Dastard.
Introduces checkers pieces. Okay, I'm just going to throw one in there. The checkers pieces are bombs.
No.
Are bombs. And Dale is left to deduce how to win at this crazy new game.
Nice. And I think that is something that will be revealed in approximately like 8 episodes or something.
Uh-huh.
Like, because I don't see them doing more than one chess move per episode, you know? It's going to take a while.
So next time on Twin Peaks, Wyndham Earl, dastard that he is, defiles the game of chess by introducing checkers pieces, and the checkers pieces are bombs. And Dale's left to deduce how to win at this crazy new checkers and chess game. Meanwhile, Donna is concerned about Ed's well-being, wants to be there for him. She talks to Ed and is like, I'm worried Nadine's going to have an affair. And Ed has restrained but big feelings and ultimately doesn't do anything. All right.
Yeah, sick. Okay, well, that's the episode, folks.
That's an episode.
See you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye. TSTV is hosted by Sadie Avery Lake and yours truly, Lily Alexander. Our music is by Jamie Page, the show art is by Maya Fernandez-Giles, and this episode was edited by me. If you have any burning questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. Please send us an email at hello@tstv.show, and we may respond in a future episode. Thanks for listening.
Hello, it is Sadie, here with the content warnings for episode 19, season 2, episode 12, The Black Widow. This one is mostly a silly, low-stakes one. The main thing I would flag is the show is really starting to dial up the putting Josie in bad situations in ways that feel particularly insensitive and racist. But for the most part, we're in silly land, not really any horrors of note. So enjoy the episode.